month it took me, because I left London, then Hong Kong, then Bangkok, then Australia, and the tour of Australia, which was wonderful fun. And then here I am, I think, where am I?
Chicago!
Yeah, in Chicago.
It's -9, feels like 13.
It is. But I mean, when I was doing The Hobbit, I'm in The Hobbit, you know. I wasn't there all the time at the other, so I used to fly in, and I flew around about 8 times, around the world going west. So when I finished the film, I was a week younger than when I started.
This is how you do it.
Time travel. Yeah.
Welcome to Chile, Illinois.
Yeah.
Morning, folks. It is morning.
It is morning, yes.
Rather lighting in this diabolical. Isn't this what they call 3 a.m. eternal? Well, it's like casino lighting.
Yeah.
It's meant to keep you going. You don't know what time of day it is.
I don't know what day it is, but even what year it is.
It's very handsome, then.
When did you last have your eyes tested?
Only 10 days ago.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I am looking very handsome there.
That's true. I now have a very new prescription. That explains it.
Yes. Is that
Something like Montgomery Clift.
Oh, right. I look at that fall, I fell off the cliff.
So you two clearly are well acquainted with one another, and obviously you've worked together on the TV.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you worked together?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. We knew each other.
Had you worked with one of my brothers? Or
Yeah.
maybe Mama?
Yeah, maybe Joe. I knew Joe pretty well,
Yeah.
but that was to do with Dave John more than anything else.
Right.
That's how I first met you.
Yeah.
You came to my flat in Belsize Park with Dave John one day,
That's right.
and it didn't look. It actually should be called the TARDIS, because when you walked in, it was much bigger on the inside, wasn't it?
Good kitchen.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
That's the first time we met.
And the boys were little, weren't they?
They were, yeah. Now they're big, like your boys.
Oh my.
One of them's here. Sonny's here.
Sonny's here, yeah.
Yeah.
He's now a producer.
Oh my God, you have to be nice to him, you mean? No, I have to be nice to Paul McCann's son.
Yeah, but we kind of circled. I remember seeing you. I saw you on stage very briefly. I think everyone it would have been maybe, or
Yeah.
somewhere in Liverpool.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager.
That's right. An evening with Sylvester McCarthy who was
Something
on.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
We only went in there because they had a late bar. When you're a kid, you're trying to learn how to drink, and someone said, if you go in the theatre, then there's a bar till 1 o'clock or something. We went in and you were on.
Oh, we were performing in the bar. Well, we did things
You were
like that.
on, maybe, was it one of Ken's shows?
Yeah, we were on the stage as well, but we also did bar. We did everywhere.
I think that might even.
We were once in a toilet from the river. It was in Halifax.
Out of choice.
Yeah, no, we were employed. And we were employed to go to this part. It was a festival in Halifax or something like that. Or one of the Halifax. What's the other one? Anyway, it's a posh farm. Harrogate, the posh farm. They had a festival.
Well, Hurricane's Harry.
Yeah, don't people melt when he says things like that? Yeah, we were employed, and there was nobody in the park, and then we saw someone going to the toilet, so we went in, and while he was having a pee, we did a bit of the
You can
cake.
see it.
So we just ate it.
It's the spirit of the arts, folks.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not,
You've got to have it.
you're going to get entertained. I like that.
Yeah, we were a bit like that.
I remember seeing a picture of you. In fact, I kept it somewhere. There's a picture of you wrestling in an old people's home.
Oh, right, yeah, the Marcel.
With myself,
Yeah.
I wish we could just put a picture up on the board now. It's magnificent, really.
Yeah.
That was a kind of, that was with Ken, was it? With Rose?
Yes, it was. We had a sketch or wrestling.
These old women look like completely thrilled.
Well, they got even more thrilled, actually, because what happened was, we were both in comedy underpants, kind of.
Completely.
Or I was anyway.
Mankinis.
Yeah, and then Marcel had me upside down, banging my head. And as he was doing it, I slapped Marcel for a bit. As I was doing it, I slipped out of my underpants. And so suddenly my little Willie was waving and all these old ladies just and afterwards, one of them came up and said, you know, that's the most I've seen a man in my whole life.
Thank God it was all women with facing it.
I know, it'd be too dangerous for me to be young.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's your friend? McCoy?
Hi, I'm Lynn.
Let's go and ask this question.
I'm going to ask you a question. I mean,
Are they
you're
going to be
welcome to
hard?
entertain
Are
yourself.
they going to be
I'm
general
perfectly
knowledge?
happy to disagree.
Capital cities.
We haven't seen each other. The last time I saw you was at the play. That was the night before I flew off to my round the world trip. Sorry, it was not play. George asked me to play.
Are you in play? Is this
I
play?
wasn't a playwright then.
You were a playwright then. What was that play?
It was called The River by Jez Butterworth. He wrote that big hit Jerusalem about 10 years ago. I just did a little one following him. I was on there.
It was great. It was great fun.
So did you work together on stage as well?
No, I wish that would be the fulfillment of a dream to be in Eurovision.
It would be great.
I said that without fear of contraception.
Contraception.
Contradiction.
All right.
Do you think you'll ever do stage again? Sorry, that came out. When do you think you might do stage again?
No, I was actually asked to do something. It was play Socrates.
What?
In a
Can I be in
It was because there were so many lines to learn. Socrates said so
it?
many
They
things.
give you a little ear piece, you get one of those confuse your life.
It
Yeah.
was a couple of weeks tour, a couple of weeks in West End, and I'm going to film it. But I'm having so much fun just doing this and going around the world.
Brilliance on stage.
I mean, it's not wrong. You were the fool for King Lear, played by Ian McKellen. I did not sadly have the honor of seeing it. I have heard the most amazing things.
All right.
Well, that was like 2 years or something.
Yeah, now I'm touring the world. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was quite extraordinary, really. You know, the best audience in the whole world was Singapore.
Why?
They responded to us in such a way that they actually educated us more about the play than we thought we knew. Do you know what I mean? They were more educated than we were. I mean, we rehearsed it. They were the brightest,
Don't they say they're the most highly educated?
highly
in the
educated,
world?
yeah. And it was extraordinary playing an audience where suddenly you go, oh my God, I didn't know that. They point, you know, suddenly you're learning. You never stop learning, do you?
No. Did you play in Germany? Because Germans know Shakespeare, don't they?
Oh yes, no,
They
didn't
teach
do
you.
Germany. I have played Germany, but that's where I used to bang an air up my nose and say back to my head.
So speaking
So, I mean Shakespeare. For that.
Speaking of Shakespeare,
Shakespeare, I need to ask about the concept album for a musical version of Much Ado About Nothing.
wasn't I involved in something like that?
You were. I didn't know you could sing.
I could talk a
He's
little
got his and his brothers have played the Barbican Hall, big concert hall in London. Sing.
Yeah, I used to sing a lot.
Yeah, they're big singers.
I'd like to sing more. I haven't sung for years and years.
Yeah.
But Mark's kept on singing. Mark's like the John Lennon of John Lennon, impersonators.
Yeah.
He always has been. So Mark's carried on singing. Mark's forever singing. Come on, get up and sing again.
Yeah.
I remember I just lost my nerve. I think as well if
But if you sang after the spoons, we could do double that.
I don't know where you heard that first, but I'll just hold us to it. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, good fun. Good fun.
Yeah, I'd love to. No, it would be nice to get up and sing one of these days. Because I get the feeling that if you stop singing, you can't sing anymore, is it?
Oh no, it's still riding a bike, only that with a flat tire.
So we should probably talk about this TV series called Doctor Who just a little bit.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
No, you're actually bigger. much bigger.
That's entirely fair. Would each of you please talk about process of getting cast on the show?
Well, first.
Yes, we'll go backwards.
We'll go backwards. Except I've got to mention you because the BBC booted it into the long grass, didn't they, when you were...
Yeah.
What was that, 88, 89, around that time?
It was 9 years before when
Yeah.
they put it into hiatus and then forgot to
Yeah.
bring it back.
And there was, so there was kind of nothing. So what would it have been? I don't know, around 94, 95, so a few years later. And in the interim, all kinds of rumours were swirling around, you know, it hasn't gone, it's going to come back in America, you know, Eric Idle's going to be the Doctor.
John Cleese as well.
John Cleese, who played Mr. Bean, Rowan. You know, so at least, you know, there were actors that you thought, well, why? All right, I get it. I mean, you can see why. And then it got real. 94 then. And they started sending out memos to agents.
Who was your agent at this point?
Janet Fielding.
Yes.
And curiously, we had never had the conversation. It hadn't occurred to me that she didn't be an actor. Just coincidental. But anyway, then I get asked to go in. One of my brothers gets asked to go in. So they seem to be. But so we were curious about that because first, why are they asking us when they could just get Rowan Atkinson or somebody to get into the picture? And that's what happened. And then, so I was sent in with hundreds of people in it, we just read, and then they started calling me back. And then I got worn down, to be perfectly honest, by Phil Segal. Me and my brothers, in that year, in 94, the last time we worked together, we shot a BBC drama series in Ireland. And I had played brothers, and I played the priest of the priest. I was in this dark, you know, long black frock coat, my hair was long, doctorish. And Phil said he was wherever he was at the time, Canada or the US, and he was watching TV, so he said, "Who's that? That's my doctor, you know, this kid," and that's how I got the gig about because he'd seen it on TV. So he wore me down and got me in. And that's how I got casted. Because I'd been a priest in Ireland in 1846. That's how it works, man. That's how it works. But it's basically a hair show.
Yes.
Think about it. It's a hair thing.
Absolutely.
It's a hair thing.
In Star Trek, we're all wearing wigs.
Yeah.
And I always thought maybe the Starship Enterprise had a leak in it because all of them had wigs. Whereas the TARDIS, which looked as if it should have a leak in it, there was no leak because all of us had long hair. Everyone had lots of hair.
It's a big hair thing.
That's a big hair thing. But it's also interesting, the priest thing, because Tom Baker was a monk. I was training to the Pope, and you acted as a priest. There's a connection there.
Yeah, my brother Mark went to seminary. Yeah. Come on.
So, I mean, I think there is something priestly about Doctor Who, kind of way.
That might be the canniest thing you've said all morning.
Is it? Yes, thank you.
I agree with that, Professor McCoy.
No, thank you. Thank you, Professor.
No, but there is something priestly.
There is, yeah.
Some defrocked.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes.
Yeah, definitely defrocked. You wouldn't want
Defrocked, yeah.
Yes.
So, Sil, tell us about your casting.
Oh, well, I heard that Colin Baker, it was on the news, Colin Baker was leaving, so I phoned my agent to say that, you know, there was a job at the BBC. She phoned up Nathan Chan and said, "Hello, I'd like to see Sylvester McCoy." And he said, "Sylvester who?" And she said, "Yes." Luckily, the very next phone call that came through was from a director, producer I worked with a lot on television, Clive Doyle. And Clive said to John, "I think you see Sylvester McCoy." And he said, "Are you working with the same agency? What's going on?" And he said, "No, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about." Anyway, that made him interested. Luckily, I was at the National Theatre in a musical play that Adrian Mitchell had written for me, playing the Pied Piper. And John Nathan Turner came to the National, saw me do it, and went back and said to the office, "I found my new doctor.
There you go.
So, well, yeah.
So you need that little propitious thing.
Yeah.
Not only do you need to be available, you need to be playing the Pied Piper.
Or a priest.
Or a priest in the Century Island.
Yeah.
At the time, then you get the gig.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what acting is like for us. That's what show is.
Yeah. And that's
It's a
how you
series
get
of
jobs.
happy courses.
Yeah. Luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And big head.
Oh, yeah. Well, not America, the old weeks. Star Trek, you see that, the old weeks. Everyone wore a wig.
So, Paul, talk about the fact that you wore a wig when you were doctor in TV movie.
Oh, I did.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that whole
If
experience?
you slightly gritted teeth, I will. Now, in the weeks before I went out there, I'd been in South Africa. They were shooting this war film. So I had like Soldier Boy there, like action really short. And when I turned on the kind of film, Siegel, kind of freaked. I said, come on, man, it's been off the telly for years. We could just start again. We could be minted. Give me a leather jacket, you know. I can have short hair. He said, what are you, crazy? So they got me this, yeah, he's going to be soft, he's going to be this, he's going to be that. And then 10 years later, Eccleston just stole it. I was quite bitter about it.
I don't blame you, really.
So I got this wig out of a box and they put it on my head. And there's no time to even get the proper one made, you know. Nice thing. That's why I'm like frowning in all the pictures. I'm sulking like a 5-year-old. Just wig on.
So was there any particularly ritualistic disposition of the wig when you were done shooting?
I chased it. They made sure, but rather like, because you know, prospectively we were going to come back and shoot a series. And they knew they put somebody on this wig. Because they knew on the last day of term I was going to get this wig. You know, like kids do with their school blazers when they leave school. I was going to set fire to it or something.
So you've been hoping for like a funeral for the wig.
Yeah, I was going to give it a proper Viking. I was going to push it right out to sea. Thank you.
So Paul, did you grow up watching the series, or was
Yeah.
So how did you develop your version of the Doctor?
Very quickly. As usual, no time. But luckily, this man was here when, you know, the first couple of weeks in Vancouver. You were also there, so, which was fantastic because it just meant you could sort of hold my hand. Because it was nervy, you know, when you first do it.
It is,
And suddenly felt like a big deal. It got a bit real, you know.
Sure.
But McCoy was there, and so it helped.
It helped me as well handing over because it would have been horrible.
It felt good, didn't it?
Yeah.
It felt good that
Yeah,
we were able to do that.
It's certainly you at least got to do a proper regeneration between the two of you, as opposed to regeneration you walked into when you took it also.
Yeah.
Yes, his Colin didn't turn up for regeneration. So they stuck in his costume. It lasted me for 3 days. Yeah, up until just recently, and then a separate person called David Tennant broke that record too. I played 2 doctors. I played Doctor number 6.
Did you?
Yeah, and they put a silly wig on me. I looked like Hardcore Mark. But then, David Tennant has played 2 doctors, so I you know.
I played John Hurt.
Oh, did you? You played 2 doctors as well?
Yeah, the little short 6-minute one.
All right.
Yeah, they can get John
Well,
Hurt.
that's it.
So I had to do it.
Oh, you know that.
Well, I played John Hurt's body.
All right. Oh, a body double.
Yeah.
So your portrayal of the Doctor changed significantly over the course of your run on the
Yeah.
series. Can you talk a little bit about how you made those adjustments, and was that something that was mostly your doing? Can you talk a little bit about how that progressed as you, because time in the run, you've got a very sort of comical version of the Doctor, lots of malapropisms and that sort of thing. And then your second season, it gets dark. And then it keeps getting dark.
Yes, okay. Well, when I got the job, I hadn't seen Doctor Who since way back in the 60s. Actually, Trevor was my doctor. I thought it was brilliant then, but then I got to work, and then there was no way of ever seeing it because I was working on a Saturday for a matinee or something like that. And those days, you could record it, only ever went out once, and that was it. Bye-bye. So by the time I got there, I had very far distant memory of didn't know anything else about the rest of them. As luck would have it, Andrew Cartmel, who was the script editor, he was Canadian, so he didn't know a great deal about it either because it wasn't shown too much in Canada. So we both started off in utter ignorance. So I arrived in my comedy back at the tricks, and I was encouraged to do it in a kind of Chaplin-esque type of way. But then as I started to look at it, I realized I'd been handed a really brilliant role that you could do so much with it. And also, by coincidence, my grandmother got to be 100 when around about that time. And that was unusual in those days, 100. It's quite regular now. So hopefully I'll get there one day, next year. So I went to see my grandmother, and she was very sharp, very lively, but she wanted to leave. She had seen so many horrible things. She was born in the Crimea War. The kind of war she'd gone through, lost people, and so all that age thing, I thought, wow, my doctor's 950 years old. I've got to get some of that. I've got to bring some of that. So that made it kind of slightly moving towards a less comedic, and then slowly, I also thought too much was known about the doctor. The mystery had gone, so we had to try and bring that back. So that was another area, and then in the bringing of it back, we had to make the audience uncertain about who he really was again. Is he good? Is he bad? What is he? So all that kind of developed it, so my doctor got darker. But I also had to hang on to the comedy because that's part of the fun of doing it. It's like, do dark and light, two sides of the coin, spinning them all the time while you're doing it. So that's how it developed it. And Andrew Cartmel kind of was in the same kind of idea with it.
So could you tell us a little bit about some of your experiences on set? The story that I find the scariest is the greatest show in the galaxy because Flatlands. Can you talk a little bit about the experience of shooting that one in particular? Because that was at a parking lot, right?
Well, yeah, what happened was that there was the BBC White City where they'd already recorded everything, and it was closed down because they had, what's it, stuff, that powdery stuff.
Asbestos.
Asbestos, yeah. So I had asbestos problem. So they were going to cancel that one, but Johnny Turner was determined not, they wouldn't. So what he done, he had a circus tent and stuck it on the car park of East Enders car park studio. And so every time East Enders finished, we had to stop shooting because all they get to their Rolls Royces and drive off. Yeah, which one fucking Rolls Royce? Oh, no, yeah, right, I'll get back to it. Just, sorry, excuse my French. I go there sometimes. So we filmed that there in a real tent. We also filmed in the desert of Dorset. There's a big sand pit in Dorset, and every time I've been there filming over the years, it's just like the desert. It's almost like, it's got its own microclimate. It's very warm, 100 degrees sometimes. That was fun. That was for And so also we had 3-wheel motorbikes. The other, and I got to run around with those, so it was very fun. Altogether, it was good fun. And I worked with T.P. McKenna, which was a big friend. Lovely job. Yeah.
So you both have appeared in The Power of the Doctors recently, during Tony Whitaker's time.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how that came to be? Did you just get a phone call?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Did you actually get to work with each other or with Jodie at all?
Sadly, no.
Did you not get to work with Jodie?
Still never met her.
I did.
I was so excited. I thought finally she's going to be there.
Yeah.
No, I did my stuff to a piece of gaffer tape on the end of the bush.
That was me.
Great stuff. We should probably say that.
Yeah.
No, but I was disappointed. I really wanted to meet her because it was going to be our last day.
Yeah. No, she was delightful. It was lovely. She was just really fancy, warm, welcoming. She came round to see us all. Because I was lucky. I was there with David Bradley, the one of the glorious David Bradley and Colin. We were the three of us who were working together. You and Peter came at different times.
Yeah.
And we arrived. No, Janet and Sophie had been down there for months.
Oh yeah, Janet was there when I was there.
Yeah, and they used to hide with masks and stuff like that. I've had them in there suggested why don't wear a burqa that makes everything very easy, so they wouldn't be seen. So Colin, David and I were in the hotel the night before we were going to film. We have a meal, a few drinks in the bar, and said, can we have photographs? Yeah, let's have a photograph. But before we know it, it's up on the internet. Yeah. So we actually blown it. They spent 3 months trying not to blow the fact they were in it. I think they weren't well pleased with us, really. They've forgiven us, I hope. But it was, because I hadn't seen the Sophie, but Sophie wasn't there. Sophie was filming up a mountain in Wales in a cave. So she was acting to a brick wall. And she didn't know the difference. I wasn't there really, because I did in the studio.
So a bit of a different experience than working together on the Five Doctors.
Yeah, we still have worked together, face to face, eyeball by eyeball. Yeah.
That's all to come. All ahead of us.
Back to the dead body. We still looking at it. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about, both of your eras of the series were not as well received as they deserved to be, in my honest opinion. And there's been a bit of a reevaluation since the series was rebooted and we got the new series. Can you talk a little bit about your experiences with this as the reevaluation has happened of that point in your careers? Are people nicer now?
They're nicer now, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they are. What happened back then?
Well, when I took over, it was going through a bad patch, because it's Colin had left. They hadn't been on for a year. There was also...
So when you took over, it was what was it, 30?
Coming up in 30 years.
30 years.
I did the 25th anniversary one. But
So there was a kind of just, it was almost inevitable.
they wanted rid of it. But you know, the BBC, if you're a producer, you don't make your name unless you put something new on. And so there was that 30 years of producer, they looking at that slot thinking, I can just get all my hand in that slot. I can bring along Eldorado. That's what they did do. It was terrible. I mean, thank goodness it collapsed. But that's what replaced Doctor Who. Yeah, the powers that be upstairs, they were fed up with Doctor Who. They weren't even watching it anymore. And it got to a bad dip, and then it was slowly climbing out of it. So much so that when I agreed to do 3 years, and in my second year, Nathan Chandler came to me and said, listen, we'd like you to do a 4th year. So I said, I'm not sure, this magic trick of my doctor. I told Pete Davidson that only do 3 years. And I thought, that was dictating my, what I
I can remember when we went to Canada to shoot
yeah.
in 96, the people, because that was Universal and Fox, and it was the entities, but the people who were representing the BBC were a little bit sheepish about it.
Yeah.
The idea, because what wrong previous to this.
Yeah, killed it.
Yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, anyway, when I came back, there was a lot of bad blood between a certain faction of fans and the producer.
We went in 2005 when I came back.
No, when I came back with me, really, we were away for a year, and then so there was bad atmosphere. And then slowly it felt as if it was getting warm. But no.
There was a lot of political aspects.
Yeah. There's politics in the BBC in the fan. Well, there's politics there. Personal politics.
Yeah.
A leader of that faction and the producer. Yeah, it's all a bit nasty, really. So I was just working underneath all this stuff going on. But I'm
sorry to interrupt. You've got a few minutes for questions. There's a microphone up front here.
Oh,
if you'd like to ask, if you still, you already have a microphone. If you all would like to ask Syl or Paul some questions, please feel free to line up the microphone. And in the meantime, while Syl starts causing
Hands
trouble.
up, who wants to ask a question?
So,
Nobody, right, okay, right. Oh wait, I'll be up on the back. This is where I get my steps.
Stumbling around.
When I was in Father Brown. Oh, I was in Father Brown. That was it, I was in that, talk about it. Well, it was great fun. I mean, it was really nice. It was a sunny, it was in the Cotswold, which is the most beautiful part of England. Middle Earth, really, a bit like that. I was in the Hobbit. Anyway, so... It was a lovely week, and I tried playing it. Again, I was a doctor. I can't get away from that one. Nasty is this so imaginative, isn't it? We need a doctor, or we'll get a week, but...
So I remember seeing you when you were putting a nail in your brain, and when you took a work to the job. And I was so pleased when I saw you appear in Doctor Who. And then I was even more pleased when I saw you in Lord of the Rings. And I just wanted to say I'm a big fan.
Thank you very much. I thought you were my agent, but...
How does working with the Big Finish scripts compare with the scripts you have on the show?
Oh yeah, Paul, how was it doing Big Finish scripts compared with working on the show?
Well, it's a lot quicker. You can wear your own clothes while you're doing it, which is a boon.
Yeah.
A lot more fun in a way, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
Doing the Big Finish stuff.
You just did a live Big Finish, didn't you?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we tried it. You missed it, McCoy.
I know, what was it
You
like?
have adored it. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, we took over this fantastic room at Cadogan Hall, of course, in the music venue in London, yeah. For 2 days, we did 4 shows in there. It was great. It was great. We're hoping it has another life, you know, we can do it again someday.
So they must have recorded it then, it's coming out.
Yeah, that's there they recorded it.
There's a Big Finish on the BBC.
Big Finish, but both.
Both?
Under the aegis of the Beam, yeah. And, you know, each audience took part. You know, they all...
But they all got a part.
Well, yeah, you know, they all played like extras and
Monsters.
and
Yeah, look at this lot, they'd be well cast.
naturals.
Right, oh, no, it's fun. I mean, I love doing the scripts because you don't have to learn the lines. And when I do, I'm 6 feet tall, and you know, the set doesn't shake. It's good, so I really quite enjoy doing it. No, it is good fun. Really, it's another way of acting, really, because you act through the voice.
How's it going?
How are you, Red? Yes. How am I? I love, what happens is they stick a beard on me, and then they stick a hand, and then they get shit on me.
Paul, your wigs were absolutely great. I love the hair. I thought it was your hair. How naive I am. But my question is, was it real human hair or synthetic?
It was very synthetic. Seriously, yeah, like no naked flames, you know what I mean? That kind of vibe. I was terrified. And what's more, you know, I had it like set of lights. I've never got it off in time because you know, when you put a wig on, there's a gauze and they glue it to your head with spirit. So this thing was like stuck fast. You know, and it was the plastic surgery, yeah, they put me in like a permanent state of surprise.
Just like having Botox.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about
The money.
You asked me that.
What was your favourite part? No, I mean, it was being Doctor Who was my favourite part because it was such a wonderful role.
Was it your first 3-figure pay packet, McCoy?
No, actually, it was the vast sum of £1,000 a week,
That wasn't an
which are
enormous...
way back in the BBC.
In the 80s, that was...
It was quite a lot. I think Colin said he was the one that got that, so I didn't get any more than him. So.
Yeah.
That's very long. So what about you? What was your favourite thing about Doctor Who? Or being Doctor Who?
Or being in it.
Yeah, is that what you said? Being in it? Being in it, yeah.
My favourite thing.
You meant, are you getting the key to the TARDIS?
Yeah. Of course. working with Daphne Ashbrook.
Oh yeah, that was.
Remember when she turned up on that Canada, and she, you know, we were because it was all night shoots, it was 10 minutes to midnight, so we were night shoots for 6 weeks. And the first or the second night in, we're in some street in Vancouver, 1 o'clock in the morning, and the three of us sat there in the chairs that actors sitting. And Daphne turns to McCoy and says, "Can I ask you a question?" She said, "What is this?" She hadn't a clue. She got the gig, she's there in costume, she'd never seen it, she'd never heard of it. And now she sat there with 2 doctors and she said, "What is this?" And Jim McCoy is too, he spent the next 2 nights filling her in. 30 years of mythology. In between, you know, the breaks in between shooting.
And then, yes, after that came Tom Baker, and then after Tom Baker.
Yeah, it was literally like that. It was something fantastic. And now you couldn't meet a bigger fan than Daphne Ashbrook. That's how it happens. Yeah.
So, in Battlefield, there is, when you were filming, there was a scene where Ace was in grave danger during a scene where things filled with water. And I remember in a previous interview, Colin Baker said he never had a stunt double. Was there any other like dangerous moments on set for either of you that you can recall?
Every morning when we started filming was dangerous. When I remember the lines. Would the pyrotechnic boys at the BBC blow me up today? Trying to blow me up all the way through.
Did you ever have a stunt double? Was there ever?
No, well I did.
Was there ever history?
There was. Tim Big was my stunt double.
Oh, he was amazing.
He was amazing. He died by doing it. Not on BBC. Not on Doctor Who.
He jumped off the mountain.
Yes. It was, he was very frustrated because Sophie and I never let anyone do our stunts. We did our own stunts. There was only once. There's the one where I would fall off a bridge into the water with Sophie, and I had flu, so I didn't do that one, which I was very disappointed in. I had flu, it was really bad. Did you have your own stunt double from?
No, not so far.
All right. Oh, on radio?
Coming soon. You saw your early comfortable.
What's a role or a type of character that like you haven't acted as yet, but you want to act as?
I can answer that really. Quasimodo in the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
You'd be marvellous, darling. Remember the last bell was called Big Marine?
Oh really?
Remember that?
Oh, the bell.
He names the bells, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So,
I always wanted to play him, and
they made that deaf.
yes.
You'd be fantastic.
Well, no, now I can only play that. Because he didn't have too many lines, and he gets top billing, and he swings about on bells. What about you, Paul? What about as a part you would like to have done?
You know in Mary Poppins there's an umbrella that speaks.
Oh, right.
Yeah. She said, "Don't do it, Mary." That's my part.
Paul, your villain was the master. How did you like working with Eric Roberts and Sylvester? Who is your favorite villain?
I really like working with Eric. Eric's kind of vague and charismatic. I'm not a man of few words, actually, Eric Roberts, but a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
So that even other actors like, look, how does he do that? You know, technically, you don't know how he's doing it. And then you see the thing, he's just fantastic. Has anyone seen Paul Thomas Anderson film? Inherent Vice. Have you ever seen Inherent Vice? Remember that bit when, and Joaquin Phoenix, they're talking about this Mr. Big for like an hour and a half, and then Joaquin Phoenix's detective finally finds him. Oh, but he's hiding in the bushes, and there he is in this garden, and it's Eric Roberts. And he steals the film in like 5 minutes from Joaquin Phoenix. And you watch it, you go, how's he doing that? Every time I see that, I think, how does he do that? A bit like McCoy.
Yes. Well,
No, you should have been like the general manager of a department store or something. Where you're swanning around the floor there.
How do you think so?
Grace Bros.
Yes,
Grace Bros.
I'm the oldest of age. So, oh yes,
Who's your favorite?
Favorite film?
favorite villain. I think my Weeping Angels. I think they were
Easy.
I think they were wonderful. I was in Sweden doing a signing at an English bookshop. It was a dark night. Sweden gets very dark at night. I came out of the bookshop and there was a steeple, and on the steeple was an angel just standing there looking down at me. So I kind of walked out like this. And I walked out into the middle of the road and then I got run down. So I mean, they are dangerous, those weeping angels, they kill me. Right.
Even it's joking.
You've both done wonderful audio drama, and I've also listened to you both narrate incredible audio books. Do you have a favorite audiobook that you've narrated, or is there a book that you would like to narrate?
Go on, McCoy.
The problem is you do these things that are very quick. You do them very quickly, don't they? I haven't done. You've done lots of.
Yeah, no, I was doing them.
Yeah, and especially.
Like serious history books. And
Yes.
stuff. Some are really kind of, some of the material is like upsetting. But when you do them, you just got to try and read them straight, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy all that. I enjoy that kind of work. I don't know. Can you think of a novel, for example, that you might like to?
One I did was for Jack and Laurie was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh yeah,
But that was a weird one because they wanted me. It was 2 days to do it. I could only give them 1 day, and then there was going to be 3 slots: morning, afternoon, and evening. So I went in for the morning and it was snowing, and the BBC didn't have what do you call it? Where you read it on the screen. The machine. Yeah, didn't have one of them. And so the car that was bringing it to the studio crashed. So we missed we lost the morning. So we were going to have the afternoon and evening to do what should have done in 2 days. So Sunday arrives and I had to mark it all up with the different voices. And the camera was there, and then there's bright lights all the way, really bright lights all the way around the camera. And I had to read it. And it was the hardest work I ever did. And I hated every second of it. And it was voted one of the best readings of Jack and
Of all
Laurie.
time.
Of all time. And it was terrible. I wanted to hell. Isn't it funny when you do things you hate and suddenly people love? And I can't read anyway. It's amazing. Reading coming through. There's a hand. There's a hand here. Give it up. I can't see you.
What were your favorite props to use during the filming of your series or TV movie?
The umbrella.
Don't do it, Mary.
Yes. From now on, every time I carry my umbrella, I'm expecting you to talk. I have a recording. What about you? Do you have a favorite prop?
Favorite prop?
Yeah. Who you use when you're
So,
a doctor?
did I even wield a prop?
Well, you have the screwdriver, didn't you?
Is that a prop?
I think so.
It's more than a prop, isn't it, really? It's an extension of oneself. What was that? Someone said?
Leather jacket. Later when you're,
Yeah. I mean, the prop that you had, I handed on to you. I think it's the sonic screwdriver is a prop, really. They gave me, I never had one as a doctor because the producer didn't want to make it easy for the writers to get the doctor out of trouble. I don't know how to use one of those. So he didn't know how to, so I never had one. He wanted the writers to, use their imagination. So they gave me one in the film, and so I took it and I pointed at a box where the master was in, and I zapped him. The only problem was it was the wrong way around. Sometimes I was zapping me. So if you look at it, it's pixelated, you can't see. Because I thought there's a pointy bit, I've worked out the pointy bit. You're not supposed to do it that way. Did you know that? Anyway.
Yeah, I always just found that out.
Yeah. What?
I
No? No. But you don't know, you can't see because it's pixelated, because you can't see that I did it wrong. But you...
Was there ever music in Doctor Who? Was there ever sort of an attempt to have like a musical episode or songs in?
I think every
Or
time
was there ever a planet they landed on and all the people did was sing?
Welcome to this planet! She sings every time it comes on.
Yeah, there've been several musical numbers.
So they're getting round to it now, they're finally...
Yeah, they've started doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Colin did a big Finnish musical version of some Doctor Who. I did something. Yeah.
We've got time for one more question.
One more.
No pressure.
Okay, so, and when Sylvester renewed your doctor, what was it like after the process of regeneration and trying out costumes?
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. That was Kate. It was Kate. I dressed up as Mel. God, she was funny. She played Bonnie Langford, Kate. What's her name?
O'Mara.
Yeah, Kate O'Mara. And so when Bonnie wasn't there, she was outrageous. But as soon as Bonnie came, she kind of brought it all back in. Doctor, wait! So, yeah, it was good fun. They just said to me, improvise. There's costumes, so I went in and came out dressed as all the other doctors. Just improvised, really. That was it. It was good fun to play.
Of course, for the one costume you said you Napoleon costume in that episode.
No, I did get a horse eventually, but I was which battlefield was it? I was on a horse on the battlefield. That's all true.
Did you ever play Napoleon?
Napoleon. Oh yes, I did actually. For the children's program, it was about the invention of ambulances in the Napoleonic Wars, and I played Napoleon. Yes.
We want to see pictures, don't we, folks?
Please join me in thanking Paul again.